Hello, and welcome. Oh, I just realised I got another program open. Let me shut that down to help make sure that this works well. Okay, great. Here we are going. Welcome to today's show. If you are watching live, please put in hashtag live replay, live party rather. And if you're watching the replay, then put in live replay. This is what happens when you have live TV, isn't it? Okay, if you're watching live party. If you're watching the replay party. And then I know that you've been, and you can ask some questions and I will come and answer them as well. So today we're talking about, are you more like Grace or Frankie in your business? And have you caught the Netflix show? I've already had some comments from people who actually really enjoyed it. Louise is saying she's binge watched the whole lot. In fact, you are not alone there, that is for sure. And it was really interesting. I was watching it over the weekend actually, and I watched an episode where it just showcased the different characters' personalities so well when it came to the business that they are running. I'm being very careful here not to give away spoilers. So let me just introduce myself, just in case you haven't come across me before. My name is Doyle, and I'm a business strategist and mindset coach. And my business is Creative Flow, where I help creative services providers, typically, if you think of business owners in fields such as design, animation, photography, marketing, to be able to attract and convert 4- and 5-figure clients and sometimes more confidently and profitably without selling your soul. And I'm on a bit of a mission to eradicate the epidemic of undercharging and over-delivering that is rampant in the creative services. And you know what? Other services as well, by the way. So it's really important to me that we get this out there. So please share this and please say hi and comment below. I'm just going to go in here to make sure that I can see your comments. Where is this going live? And let me know that you are here. Okay, here we are. Well, that's interesting. Can you see me okay? I'm not seeing a picture when I look at this. Can you let me know if this is working? So Natasha's saying good day. But I'm not seeing if... Maybe if I click into it, will it show up? There we go. Yay! So Natasha's watching from the outback of Australia. Fantastic. Isn't technology fantastic when it works? Okay, so here's the thing, right? If you look at Grace and Frankie, what you'll see is that Grace is someone who is kind of quite uptight. She's absolutely perfection in the way that she looks. In fact, I've got a picture of both of them here just in case you haven't come across this before. And so you can see them here. I think this is actually from the last series, not the current one. And so Frankie is the one who is on the left with the hat and the kind of hippie-looking clothes. And Grace, now she's actually in a bowling outfit there. So she normally looks even better, but she makes the bowling outfit look really classy. So the thing is, Grace, she's a bit of a control freak, really. And she has quite rigid ideas of how things ought to be done. She's done amazingly well. Like, her character has built a successful business from scratch at a time, considering her age now, at a time when women didn't do that very often. So she is someone who is clearly determined. She's very much a strategic thinker. She's very goal and task oriented, and probably a little bit more introverted as well. So she's someone who's big picture, but process driven as well. So she's always thinking about how to do things as well as what to do. Now, I would guess her to be, in the personality profiling tool that I use with my clients, I would guess her to be an astronaut up here at the top, because of all the things some of the things that I have talked about there. Now, she doesn't always relate well to other people. Now, this isn't necessarily to do with her profile, by the way. We're going to come on to that. So some things are to do with the profile, some things are other things. Now, if we look at Frankie, Frankie is someone who is completely free-flowing. She doesn't do planning. She's all about what does she feel like doing in the moment. She's an artist. She's always thinking about other people, though. And for her, I think her art is really about communication. It's not about, like, she's not a prolific artist who kind of does this as her main job. Her main thing has been being a mother, being a wife, and she's all about the community and about people. So that's actually really, even though, and you can get fooled by the fact that she is an artist and think that, oh, she's kind of top of the personality profile, the same as Grace. But actually, I think she's so people-oriented. I wouldn't put her there at all. Because even like anytime she has a scrape, what does she do? She calls on people to help her get out of it. So and she does have ideas, but it's in a different way to Grace, I feel. So in the personality profiling tool, I would put her, I'd say that she's like a pilot, or more likely a captain. But a captain who actually has got that creativity as well, because she loves variety, and she wants to be kind of, she's out in front and pushing other people out in front as well. So the thing is that what profile you are has an impact in the way that you run your business, has an impact in the way that the strategies that you choose, and what is going to work well for you and what won't work well for you, particularly when it comes to working with other people. Now, you may be a sole trader or freelancer right now. If you want to grow your business, then at the very least, you've got to be outsourcing. So how do you know who to outsource to and what to outsource to them? Well, getting really clear on your personality profile will help you to have clarity on that. And I want you to understand that we all have strengths and weaknesses. So, Frankie's strength is clearly how she deals with people and how she engages with them, that they want to do things for her. Whereas I'd say for Grace, her strength is her strategic thinking, and, she's a very good business mind, and she does that by, being very goal focused. Quite different in a way than Frankie is in this context. But here's what I want you to understand as well, is that it's not all about the profiles. So I'm going to take that down for a moment. And I want you to understand that we all have strengths and weaknesses, but how they show up in our lives, how they show up in our businesses, actually has a lot to do with our emotions and our patterns of thinking. And so what we can really see, this is a TV show we're talking about here. So of course there is conflict. Of course there is drama, or else people wouldn't be watching it. And it wouldn't be funny, and it wouldn't be interesting, and it wouldn't be, oh my God, what are they going to do next? That we have in watching it, right? So let me know if you agree, Natasha, and everyone else who is watching. Because, and actually, by the way, I want you to put your favourite scene or story in the comments as well, if this is something that you have watched. I bet there's something that stands out to you where you just think, oh my God, it was hilarious when this happened. Or, oh my gosh, like I nearly cried, or I did cry when this other thing happened. So, or maybe put one of each. So you might not be like either of those 8 profiles, but you do have strengths and you do have weaknesses. And if you structure your business the right way, you can make those weaknesses irrelevant. But also another way to minimize those weaknesses is actually to work on the patterns, the subconscious patterns that kind of lie beneath. So let's look at some of the patterns that Grace and Frankie have. So Grace has got a lot of barriers up. She's got major trust issues, doesn't she? And she acts like she's Teflon, that things happen to her and she just doesn't look even affected by it. But that doesn't mean she doesn't feel it on the inside. That's just part of her barriers, that she doesn't want people to see her as vulnerable. Okay, so this is all linked to her trust issues. And she's always numbing her emotions with alcohol. It's like, how many martinis does she have every episode? She's not just doing social drinking. She is, kind of like, I can't deal with this. Give me a drink. And so she's also does a lot of rejecting. She rejects people and she criticizes people all the time. But really, when people are rejecting, that is actually a cycle. If we're rejecting other people, then we're usually rejecting them before they can reject us. But that means we then get into this pattern of rejecting opportunities, of rejecting lovely people, of rejecting lovely times, and ultimately rejecting ourselves. So that is a big thing for her. And she was very driven in her business, but you can't help feeling, or at least I can't, that was very much her, looking to prove herself. And she was in a marriage that wasn't working, clearly. I don't want to say too much in case you haven't watched it yet, but go watch it. It's so good. She didn't have a great relationship with her family. And I kind of get the feeling that this character is, she was working so that she didn't have to be at home. So she didn't have to deal with her children. She didn't have to deal with her husband. And I don't mean that if you're working, you're a bad mother. That's not what I'm saying at all. It was the way that she did it, which shows in the relationship that she now has with her adult children. There's a real feeling of disconnection. And do you know what? I would not have liked to work for her as a boss. I'm not sure she would have been a very understanding person. Now, Frankie, she's a complete opposite in many ways emotionally. That she has zero barriers. She constantly overshares. Every time something happens, she wants to have a sharing circle and for everybody to talk about everything. She takes everything to heart and really personal. So she's very sensitive in that way. But for her, it's all about emotions. It's all about people. But not everything is a people issue. So here's something I promised that you would find out a way that you could solve problems better. And here it is that depending on our natural strengths, and let me just bring this up here again. So if you're up here at the top with lots of Nova fuel, okay, so these 3 profiles on the top and lots of Nova fuel, lots of Nova energy, usually to solve a problem, they will come up with an idea. The people over here with lots of exuberant fuel, so the pilot, captain, ambassador, to solve a problem, they'll always think, oh, who can I talk to? Who can I ask for help? Who can get me out of this? People down in the south here who have lots of sensational fuel or energy, the navigator, expedition leader, and ambassador, they will often look at, where and when, what's the timing of this? Let's look at the timing, let's look at our customer service, because that's where their strengths lie. And for someone who has lots of wise fuel, so the engineer, air traffic controller, and navigator, they're going to look at the how. They're going to look at the systems and the processes. So the one thing that you can do that will massively improve your problem solving is, rather than rushing into your natural way of solving a problem, is to actually step back and go, what kind of problem is this? And therefore, what is the best approach to solve it? So there's a little hint, a little tip for you there. So the thing is that we all have our own approach to business, and we can all be successful in that as long as we have the right business model, that we're using the right strategies, and that we are being the best of ourselves. Because, if Grace and Frankie, and you can see over the seasons how some of their weaknesses definitely are becoming less. Part of that is because of them collaborating, actually, and therefore they get to make each other's weaknesses less relevant because they're compensated with the other person. But also they've grown a lot. They've grown as people. And this is something that we need to do as business owners. Our business is never going to get bigger than we are as a person, not sustainably anyway. So for us to make our weaknesses less relevant, as well as how we structure our business, the way that we deal with our personal issues, the patterns that we have that a lot of the time we're not even really aware are there, yet can hold us back or mean that we don't enjoy our success as much as we could. So that's one of the reasons why in the comments you will see below that I've I've got my mindset quiz, so which is your sneaky subconscious saboteur quiz. And so the link is there, it's free, you can take it, and you'll also get a free training video and e-course that goes with it. And certainly initial feedback that I've had from people who've been taking it is they keep saying spot on, and people are even saying, oh my god, that was me, when I'm talking about examples in the training videos. So go and check that out. And look, if you appreciate the value that you've had today, that I've given away for you, I go into this stuff in way more depth in my coaching and workshops. So if you'd like to find out more about that, just, click the button to send me a message and we can have a chat about what do you actually need, if you need anything, and if therefore, see if we're a good fit, etc. Okay, I'm here same time next week. Let me know what you thought of today's show in the comments. Remember, share your favourite scene or episode in the comments as well. And do remember to take the quiz, because I think you will find it's very interesting. It's a bit of light-hearted fun, but actually there's some really serious tips and insights for you there as well, if you want them. Okay, I will see you all very soon. Have a fantastic week. Bye.